Jim, a lot of our colleagues and former colleagues were saddened recently by the closure of the Missouri Bar and Grill, the longtime newspaper bar in downtown St. Louis. It's just one of a growing list of casualties of this COVID pandemic.
Yeah, it's well, the Mo Bar was legendary, for it's the place you went to celebrate, and if something went bad at you fouled up a story, went over there to commiserate and drown your sorrows.
All right.
And it's really sad to see it go. It was a landmark for the Post-Dispatch.
Oh yeah, and for the Globe Democrat before that, it was it was really closer to the Globe Democrat's offices. It was their hangout when that paper was around, and it was certainly the go-to place for Post-Dispatch, lunches after work. If the editors were looking for a reporter, the days before cell phones, they'd send somebody down there, call over there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. McClellan has several stories to tell about that, getting called over at the Mo Bar and having to come back.
Sure, famous. Yeah.
But it's a sign of the COVID times. Restaurants are closing. There was we don't really know how many are closing. The studies are kind of contradictory, but the National Restaurant Association says that about 17% of establishments have closed down because of COVID.
Right.
So
that's 110,000 restaurants across the country, and they're talking about permanent closings. They're not just talking about the ones that have had to shut down during a lockdown order or something. That these are ones that have thrown in the towel for good. The restaurant industry is a tough industry even in normal times. It's competition is heavy. Trends change. Margins are slim. I think in that trade association survey, they said the average restaurant's business is off like 40 or 50%, and their profit margins are only in single digits. They just can't afford to lose that much business.
I know. Looking at the St. Louis area, there was a study by an analysis by CHD, the restaurant consulting firm. It was published in the Business Journal last month. It had 198 restaurants in our region closing since COVID. If there's good news here, it's in the statistic that's only 3% of the restaurants in the region. Of course, they count fast food and everything sells food outside. That's not that bad. So I don't know. It's a high churn business anyway. There are always restaurants closing and opening. Yeah. And what I found remarkable about that survey was that they found that when they did it in mid-November, 11 restaurants had actually opened in the last month. So I don't know. I think that there's going to be vast pent-up demand for dining when this is over. And you can see getting into the spring and the summer, when we have enough vaccines that people will want to go back and dine. But are the restaurant owners who lost their shirts and had to close, are they going to be in a position to reopen these restaurants?
Well, that's the question. How many of them can make it until we get that vaccine and the economy fully reopens and people feel confident going out to dine again.
Sure.
It's obviously there are 110,000 of them that won't be around according to this survey. I don't know how much longer they'll have to wait for that to happen either. It'll be could be 6 months or more.
Yeah, I'm thinking by the summer. If you have a vaccine that's widely available to everybody who wants it by maybe April or May, which is kind of what we're talking about. And then a month after that, people think that they're immune. You can see herd immunity or something close to it, or certainly willingness to go on out and dine. And certainly there's a lot of political pressure on people like Sam Page, who has banned indoor dining now, to open it up again.
Well, yeah, and that's in St. Louis, Sam Page has become kind of the bad guy in the minds of a lot of restaurants. But this isn't really his fault. This is the virus, and he's doing what needs to be done to control the spread. I mean, we shouldn't be dining in indoors in close proximity with
he's a doctor, and he's making a very tough call, and I have to give it to him because it's a politically unpopular call.
Oh, yeah.
You better know that all the restaurant association is going to be donating to his opponent, in 3 years, whoever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But the restrictions are less in the city. There's limits on the amount of indoor dining you do. We still indoor dining. Say Charles County, it's kind of open. So he's going to take a lot of heat for being a lot tougher than these restaurants' competitors.
Right. But even in those places that are relatively open, you're seeing restaurants close. I mean, the problem is the virus is keeping people from being confident about going out to dine, and for good reason. I mean, we all want to protect our health.
Oh yeah, I haven't. Even when I could have dined, and I can still go into the city and dine, or St. Charles, I'm not, because I'm an old guy and I'm afraid of getting this virus and ending up in the hospital. And I think a lot of people are thinking that way. So,
That's right. So this raises the question of what should the authorities be doing? What should Congress be doing to help out this industry? We had the Paycheck Protection Program back in the spring, which bought restaurants some time. Many restaurants took advantage of that. It allowed them to keep people on the payroll for a couple of months and pay their rent and so on. But that money ran out long ago, and Congress has done nothing since. There is some, talk of putting together another relief bill soon. I think that would be welcomed by the restaurant industry. They need some more support if we're going to have anywhere near the number of restaurants at the end of this pandemic that we had at the beginning.
The compromise that's being talked about currently in Congress does have some help for restaurants.
Yes.
We're talking here on Wednesday afternoon, and President Trump, threw a monkey wrench into the negotiations there by recently by coming up with his own new proposal that the Democrats won't like.
Yeah.
The two sides in Congress seem to be getting close until that happened. Mm-hmm. So, who knows? What amazes me is that, so many of them have hung on so far, through 9 months of this.
That's true. I mean, it is amazing. And a lot of them have pivoted. They didn't have a carry out business before, but they managed to build up one and had enough loyal customers to keep that going. They expanded their outdoor dining areas. A lot of them have invested in heaters and so on, so that they can even keep that going through most of the winter. There's a lot of ingenuity and creativity in this industry.
Oh, there sure is.
And I think St. Louis is becoming known for its restaurant scene. It will be, I really hope that we still have a vibrant restaurant scene when this is over.
And I think we will, because, even the restaurants that closed, the landlord now has a big open space that he has to fill. And when I want to go out and eat again, I'm going to want a good meal, and there are going to be a lot of people like me, and there's going to be demand in the summer, I think, at the end of spring. So, if they can hang on till then, I think they'll make it.
Right. I think it's that hope that's keeping a lot of them going.